Today we're going to be doing our Danielian handwriting, page 54, the U. As always, we slant our paper first so that we have the best possible handwriting and it's nice and neat. And we sit up straight so that we can write nicely. And we're going to trace. We're going to start the dotted line. We're going to come down to the red line, up to the dotted line, straight back down, put a tail on it. Next one, I'm going to trace it 3 more times, down to the bottom red line, up to the dotted line, straight down that line to the bottom red line, and put a tail on it. Let's get a little closer. We're going to come down to the bottom red line, come up to the dotted line, come down to the red line, put a tail on it. Again, let's see if you can see that. Come down to the bottom red line, up to the dotted line, straight down to the bottom red line. Okay, now see, I've already done one, so let's trace this one. Down to the bottom red line, up to the dotted line, straight back down to the red line, put a tail on it. All right, so now we're going to do one on our own. Start at the dot. Come down to the bottom red line, curve, up to the dotted line, come straight down that same line, put a tail on it. Again, down to the bottom line, come up to the dotted line, follow that line straight back down, and put a tail on it. Then we're going to trace down to the bottom red line, to the dotted line, straight down to the bottom red line, put a tail on it. I'm going to do 2 more. Come down to the bottom red line, up to the dotted line. We're going to trace that line straight back down to the red line and put a tail on it. Let's try a different angle so you can see it differently. Come down to the bottom red line, up to the dotted line, straight back down that line to the bottom red line and put a tail on it. And you're going to do those for the rest of this line and the 3rd line. You need to remember to take your time and also to do one smooth motion. Notice I did not lift my pen. Now you're going to find the one that you think you did the best and you're going to put a cloud around it. If I'm looking at all of mine, I think I like this last one I did, so I'm going to put a cloud around it. That lets me know that's the one you thought was the best. So now we're going to write these letters. Us, these are the words, us and bus. So first, start at the dotted line. We're going to come down to the red line, up to the dotted line, trace that line back down to the red line and put a tail on it. S. Start just below the dotted line, come up to the dotted line, curve around kind of like a snake to the bottom red line and up. Bus. We're going to go down to the red line. We're going to come up to the dotted line, curve it, and touch that main line. U. Start at the dotted line, come down to the red line, come up to the dotted line, trace right back down to the red line, and put a tail on it. Then an S. Right below the dotted line we're going to start. Go to the dotted line, curve around like a snake, touch the bottom red line, and stop. Then you'll get to do your own words. And you can actually use the words that are up here. We have umbrella and umpire, whichever word you would like to do. And that is our letter U, page 54 for today.